8,000 meters above sea level. You are in the cruising altitude of a passenger jet, but you are standing on solid ground. They call this the death zone, and it's not a metaphor. Up here, the human body begins to actively die. Your blood thickens, your brain swells, and every breath is a desperate gamble against suffocation.
So why do hundreds of people voluntarily subject themselves to this agony every single year?
This isn't just adventure. It's a high-stakes human experiment. A voluntary study designed to discover the absolute limits of our physiology, our psychology, and our will to survive. The first thing you need to understand about this laboratory is that the greatest threat is invisible. It's the air itself. As you climb higher, the atmospheric pressure drops. The air expands, meaning there are fewer oxygen molecules in every breath you take. At the summit of Everest, you are taking in 66% less oxygen than at sea level. The result is hypoxia, a starvation of oxygen that affects every organ in your body, starting with the brain. First come the headaches and nausea, then the confusion, the loss of coordination, and the irrational behavior. If not treated, hypoxia leads to HACE, high-altitude cerebral edema. The brain swells inside the skull. Simultaneously, the lungs can fill with fluid, high-altitude pulmonary edema, or HAPE. It feels like drowning from the inside out. The only cure for HACE and HAPE is immediate descent. Delaying even an hour can be fatal. So how does anyone survive this brutal physiological assault? The answer lies in one of the most incredible human adaptations, acclimatization. Climbers use the climb high, sleep low strategy, pushing their bodies to the limit, then retreating to recover. This process triggers the body to produce more red blood cells, enhancing its ability to carry oxygen. It's a remarkable feat of biological engineering, essentially hacking their own physiology to survive where they shouldn't. And no one demonstrates this better than the Sherpa people of the Himalayas, who have evolved over generations to thrive at high altitude. Their bodies are incredibly efficient at using oxygen, allowing them to perform Herculean tasks in the thinnest of air. But physical adaptation is only the beginning of the experiment. The mountain exerts an immense psychological pressure. Imagine the isolation, the constant, grinding fear, the overwhelming scale of the environment around you. Mountaineering demands a unique psychological profile, the ability to compartmentalize fear and maintain absolute focus. It's a paradox. You must be hyper-aware of the danger to survive, yet completely ignore the panic it causes. But when cognitive decline collides with the immense pressure to succeed, the results can be catastrophic. This is summit fever. It's an obsessive drive to reach the goal, overriding rational thought and the instinct for self-preservation. Climbers violate their own predetermined turnaround times, the crucial safety buffers designed to get them down alive. This combination of cognitive decline and obsessive drive creates a predictable pattern of disaster. This intense focus on individual achievement, combined with the extreme environment, forces climbers into horrific ethical dilemmas. When survival is measured in minutes, do you stop to help someone in distress? Or do you keep moving to save yourself? In the death zone, self-preservation overrides morality. The mountain enforces its own ruthless ethics. And the commercialization of mountaineering has amplified these issues, making the ultimate human experiment accessible to almost anyone with enough money. This highlights the uncomfortable economics of the experiment, where the risks are disproportionately carried by the Sherpa workforce. Regardless of the ethics or the preparation, every major climb culminates in one final, brutal trial, the summit push. This is where the experiment reaches its breaking point. Temperatures plummet, the wind screams, and the body is running on fumes. It's a desperate race against time. Summit and descend before the oxygen runs dry, or the mountain's weather turns fatal. Every instinct screams at you to turn back, to retreat to safety, to end the suffering. Sometimes, the will to continue simply evaporates. Climbers have been known to sit down in the snow and refuse to move, accepting their fate. But then, the horizon begins to glow. The first hint of dawn provides a surge of adrenaline, a psychological second wind to push through the final obstacles, driven by the proximity of the goal. And then, there's nowhere left to climb. You are standing on the roof of the world. But the experiment isn't over. The summit is optional. Getting down is mandatory. Statistically, the majority of accidents and fatalities occur on the descent. Exhaustion has set in, the adrenaline rush of the summit has faded, and complacency can be fatal. The environment itself is changing. The sun melts the snow and ice, increasing the risk of avalanches and rockfall. The descent requires more focus and technical skill than the ascent, demanding everything the climber has left. Only when they stumble back into base camp is the experiment truly complete. They have survived the trial. But the impact of the experiment lingers long after they leave the mountain. The physical toll is immense. Extreme weight loss, muscle atrophy, and the permanent loss of fingers or toes to frostbite. The psychological scars are also profound. PTSD, survivor's guilt, and the difficulty of readjusting to normal life. So, this brings us back to the central question of the experiment. Why? Why voluntarily enter an environment where the brain swells, the lungs drown, and the mind fractures? It's not about the mountain at all. It's about the internal landscape. Mountaineering is an experiment in conquering the self. It provides an arena where the complexities and distractions of modern life are stripped away, leaving only the raw elements of existence. Every decision matters. Every action has an immediate, undeniable consequence. The extreme environment forces a state of hyper-presence, a complete immersion in the present moment. It is often said that it is in the proximity of death that mountaineers feel the most intensely alive. And the experiment continues to evolve. The cutting edge of mountaineering is constantly being pushed further. It's no longer just about reaching the summit, it's about how you get there. Fast, light, and with minimal support. Some elite climbers are now attempting the highest peaks without supplemental oxygen, pushing the absolute boundaries of human endurance. These climbers are often working closely with scientists, providing real-time data on their physiology in these extreme conditions. This research isn't just about climbing mountains. It has profound implications for medicine, particularly in understanding hypoxia and critical care. The data gathered in the death zone is providing insights that could save lives at sea level. So, what does this extreme experiment ultimately teach us about human nature? It reveals the profound depth of human resilience, our ability to adapt, endure, and push through unimaginable suffering. It demonstrates the power of the mind to override the body's limitations, the incredible force of human willpower. But it also highlights our seemingly irrational need to seek out risk, to confront the void. Perhaps it is because these extreme environments offer a clarity and intensity that is missing from modern life. When you are focused only on the next breath, the next step, life is reduced to its most essential elements. Mountaineering is more than just a sport. It's a relentless interrogation of what it means to be human. A voluntary experiment that reveals our deepest fears, our greatest strengths, and our unbreakable connection to the wild world. The mountain remains indifferent to our ambitions, but by testing ourselves against it, we learn what we are truly capable of. What experiments in your own life push you to your limits and reveal who you truly are?